In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 pillars of masculinity. With a focus on what these 3 pillars are, you will be able to show up as the most capable, grounded, dominant, and powerful version of yourself. Okay, you can let go of these preconceived notions that we have, the alpha male being all dominant and exerting status over the others, because these 3 pillars are really what it comes down to at the end of the day. And the more you can gain clarity on how you can exert and erect these 3 pillars in your own life, the more you will be able to show up on your purpose, on your path, and forget about everything else that is distracting you from doing the work that you're here to do. Okay? Now, before diving into the video, just a quick announcement letting you know about the Conscious Creator Manifesto. This is the big picture on how to bring your mind, your body, your spirit into alignment so that you can show up every single day feeling driven, motivated, and excited to give it your best. Okay, so stick to the end of this video where I'll be letting you know how you can get access to this free 1-hour training. Okay, now the first pillar of masculinity is intentionality. Okay, the masculine man is clear on what he is doing right now. Okay, how many times have you caught yourself sitting in a place not being aware of what you're doing, but you are scrolling through social media? You are engaged in a behavior behind which there is no conscious intention behind why you are actually doing it, right? So if you are to really step into your masculine, you have to be clear about why you do what you do. Okay, obviously it comes down to the micro level in terms of what you're doing right now. Like, I have definitely been a culprit of this programming, of social media programming, to be chasing that dopamine thrill, right? So anytime that you're chasing the dopamine thrill that is not serving you in the long term, whether that means getting it through social media, whether it means getting it through food that you're binging on that is not serving your energy, that is giving you the taste, that sweet taste in the mouth that ends up being bitter in the belly and causing your brain to be functioning negatively as well, not to its peak performance because you are exerting all of your energy digesting this toxic food, right? Or watching TV, like wasting your time consuming stuff that is not serving you, that is not elevating your consciousness, right? So on the micro level, we have to be aware why we do what we do, right? So setting your intention in the moment is so important because it really determines whether or not you're moving in a direction which you consciously have in your mind, or you are running off of other people's agenda whereby you become programmed, whereby your brain has become hacked to chase this thrill that is not serving you, right? So on the micro level, of course, it factors into so many areas, but that micro level has to be directed towards the macro level, right? You have to ask the important questions of yourself. Why are you here? What is your purpose, right? The micro purpose will be directed towards the macro purpose, and every single thing, what you eat, how you spend your time, what content you consume should be directed towards this macro purpose, right? Now, I believe that we all have the same macro purpose according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and that is self-actualization. Once our physiological, psychological, and comfort needs are met, then our need to self-actualize, to become who we really are, capable of being, to express our potential, that becomes as essential as our need to breathe, right? We live in a very comfortable society where our physiological needs or psychological needs are met for the most part. But all of this comfort has led to a point in society where more people are depressed, anxious, committing suicide than ever before. And I believe that a large part of the reason is because we are not expressing who we are truly capable of being. We've been caught up by all this conditioning coming from the outside that is distracting us from the work that we are here to do, right? So the grand purpose is to express who you really are, and the micro purpose will be directed towards that. And of course, the missions through which we express this grand purpose will be different for you, will be different for me. But having clarity on why you're here and what you intend on doing about the fact that you're here, and what behavior you can exhibit right here, right now to move you towards the direction of your desired destiny, these are important questions to consider that a lot of people just don't even think about. They just focused on, oh, I just want to get the girl, oh, I just want to make the money. But if you forget about the grand purpose, the grand scheme of things, then you will easily be deterred by the distractions that are there right now. Okay, so the first pillar is intentionality. You have to be clear about what it is that you seek to create, who it is that you seek to become, and then direct your behaviors in the present moment to move you towards that vision. Okay, now the second pillar of masculinity is that of radical responsibility, right? Think about this being the difference between a thermostat and a thermometer, right? A thermometer is reacting to the environment. Whatever the temperature in the environment is, that is what the thermometer shows the temperature as being, right? But the thermostat actually dictates the environment. So if the temperature is off a certain scale, then the thermostat is able to adjust the environment. Okay, so what are you showing up as in your life? A thermostat or a thermometer? Like, think about the king, right? A king, a wise king who is on his masculine path and purpose in life. When the kingdom is under attack and there's chaos going on around him, everyone's losing their shit, right? Everyone's going crazy, like, what are we gonna do? But the king is responsible to the event. Okay, he's responding to the event rather than reacting to the event. Right? This is a critical difference, because when you're responding to an event, then you have space between the event and how you're showing up. Right? You choose how to show up rather than being a victim of the external circumstance. And we are surrounded today in today's society by people who are trapped in that victim consciousness. Right? They don't take responsibility for where they are. They blame outside circumstances. They blame their parents. They blame society. They blame the government. But all they're really doing is giving up their power to actually make a change in their life, right? And then they don't take responsibility for where they want to be. They're not even thinking about where they want to be. And they make excuses for why they are not where they want to be. As a masculine man on his path and purpose, you have to take a radical responsibility for where you are right now and where you seek to be in the future. Okay, you have to accept the responsibility to make the changes in your life to move you towards where you want to be, right? If you ever find yourself blaming, making excuses, telling yourself a story about why you can't be where you want to be, then realize that that is the moment where you have been trapped into that victim consciousness, and catch yourself, because this is a program that has been conditioned into us, right? Through society, through parental conditioning, through this belief that who we are is who we will always be and that there's no room for growth. But the reality is that what separates the people that are ending up creating massive results in their lives, right? It doesn't matter where they start, but they end up being in a place where they end up seeing such massive results from the people that might not even be so backwards, right? They might have a head start but where they started, but they didn't really reach those higher levels of success. Really comes down to the mindset, right? The growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. This is what Carol Dweck really found to be the differentiating factor between the people that end up creating massive success and the people that end up living less than their potential, right? The growth mindset and the fixed mindset. The growth mindset understands that there's always a room for improvement. The growth mindset understands that the potential that he has is a moving target, and every mountain peak that you conquer will reveal the view of a completely new landscape. Okay, so the growth mindset is focused on always moving forward, and the fixed mindset is trying to preserve an image of where they are right now. Okay, so you have to take radical responsibility, which means that even the things that you are not entirely in control of, who your parents were, which country you were born in, which school you went to, right, what your race is, what your age is, all of these things are outside of your control, but you have the responsibility to respond, right? You have to be responsible. You are the one who is responding to these situations rather than reacting to them, whereby you become a victim of your life. Okay, so you have to choose your most empowered response. You have to create the aspect of yourself that will allow you to grow rather than getting caught up in this victim consciousness. Okay, now that's the second pillar. So the third pillar of masculinity is that of carefreeness. Now this is really the essence of stoicism, and this stoicism is something that I've created a lot of videos on. I'll link out to them below. But understand that the premise of stoicism is that there are things that are within your control and there are things that are outside of your control. Okay, this ties back to the aspect of radical responsibility, but your focus is completely narrowed down on what you have control over right now. Your thoughts, your behaviors. That's it. Nothing else is really under your direct control. Everything else is actually something that will be directed by forces outside of your control, right? So if you can really narrow down on what you can do right now, rather than concerning yourself with all of the things that you have no power to impact, then you can really narrow down on your circle of power, on your area of influence, so that you can go ahead and do what needs to be done in order to create the life that you seek to create. Okay? So those are the 3 pillars of masculinity. No matter whether you look at what aspect you're trying to express, it all comes down to these 3 pillars. You have to be clear on why you do what you do, and it has to be in alignment with your grand purpose of things. The second thing is to accept radical responsibility for where you are right now and where you seek to be in the future. And the third thing is only focusing on what is in your control and letting go of everything that is outside of your control, not using your mental bandwidth towards things that you have no impact over, and really focusing down like a laser on the things that you have control over, which is your thoughts and your behaviors. Okay? So with that, I conclude this video. If it resonates with you, then definitely check out the Conscious Creator Manifesto. It goes over the big picture on what you can focus on right now in order to bring your mind, master your focus, right? Energize your body so that you can experience the divine power of your spirit. Sounds woo-woo, but I'm going to be diving deep into the science, into how to actually make the changes in your life so that you can experience this, right? Information is not enough. We have to actually apply that information. And in the Conscious Creator Manifesto, I let you know the complete action steps that you can take in order to create the life that you seek to create. So I'll link out to it below in the description. I'll link out to it in the first comments. Check it out. Opt in with your email address and check it out. It's some of the most powerful stuff that you will see in your life. This is the most powerful stuff that I've learned personally over the last 10 years of my personal growth journey. And it's a realization that comes that it's not just about the information in your head. It's about your life actually reflecting the information in your head, right? It's about implementation and experience. And that is what the manifesto focuses on. So I invite you to check that out. You can click the link below to do so. But this has been Mo. I hope that this video has been valuable for you, and I'll see you in the next one.